about HEOS app component control. HEOS has been with us for quite a few years now, and it's an excellent app platform for distributing your music streaming services or your stored music or even internet radio. It does enable a few extra features though to control other products that aren't otherwise HEOS enabled. Here's an example of the HEOS app with 3 devices on a network. They've all been renamed friendly names, but they are actually a Marantz ND8006 network CD player, a Denon AVCX 6700 AV amplifier, and a Keol N10 mini system. Today I'd like to talk specifically about the first one on the list, the Marantz ND8006, and the additional control features that can provide to other Marantz products. Here's an example of an ND8006 connected to a PM8006 amplifier and a slightly older SA8005 SA CD player. Now this is a SA CD player, but this concept would work with any Marantz CD player, even models going back a few years. This one's already a couple of years ago. Let's look at the rear panel of these products, and the secret to this control is connecting the IR control relays from the products. So here's the back panel of all 3 products. You connect the remote control output cable out into the amplifier's in socket and then out again to the input socket on the SA CD player. This is the way that this device can operate these 2 devices. There's a couple of things within the app you need to do first though to make this happen. Let's go back to the app view with the 3 devices on my network. As I say, we're going to focus on this one on the top. So we've selected that in the Rooms option. We've chosen Music Player. Now we go to the Music tab for this device. And let's have a look at it here. So this is the Music tab. I've highlighted here 4 cells I've put down the bottom. 2 of them look self-explanatory, and they pretty much are. They both refer to the ND8006 in the headings of these 2 tiles. The other 2 are added because of settings I've adjusted within the app, which I'm going to talk about all 4, but I want to highlight how did I make this happen. There's 2 settings I changed. I'll show you what they are. In the settings option, so the little cog up here that you can see within the app, you choose My Devices, Music Player, which is the name I call the ND8006, and then I go to Line Out Level and I set it to Fixed. And I do this for a very specific reason. This enables the HEOS app to control the volume of the actual PM8006 amplifier that's in this example. It would control any other Marantz amplifier as well. You can leave it to variable and it will get results, but it's not quite as effective at controlling the amplifier's volume. It attenuates rather the output from the ND8006 going out to whatever amplifier you're using. So if it's a Marantz amp you're using, you really want to set that output to fixed in the HEOS app here. That's the first setting you want to adjust. The other setting you should adjust is the control setting. So it's again within the settings heading, it's My Devices NA8006 music player. Choose control. And 2 options will appear, amp control and CD control. You turn both of those on. Now this is where it enables these 2 tiles to appear on the music tab of the HEOS app. So once you've done that, let's go back in and have a look at what these 4 tiles do. You'll notice with the Marantz ND8006, that's the first tile I want to talk about here. There's a little circle here, looks like a target. That's a symbol meaning inputs. That's actually saying choose an input on this HEOS device, and when you select it, this is what appears, the 4 rear panel sockets that you could choose to access content from on the ND8006. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. Let's have a look at the one that's labeled CD, and guess what, when you select that, of course, that gives you CD transport controls for the disk mechanism that's built into the ND8006. Obviously if this was an NA6006, it's similar to this, except for the fact it doesn't have a CD tray, so that option is not presented. Now let's click on Marantz Amp. This gives you control of the Marantz amplifier now. All the different inputs, even some that aren't actually on the amp, it actually has them listed. Every input is there. And if there's an input, for example, that isn't on your amplifier that you've got connected, You click it, it doesn't do anything. But phono will if there's a phono input, and obviously network will as well. So about the first 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 5 plus phono work on the PM8006. But also notice there's a power toggle button. You can actually turn the amplifier on and off with that power toggle button there. Lastly, let's look at Marantz CD. Now this is where it gives you access to a screen in the app that looks almost like when you're controlling the CD player built into the ND8006. But this is to control an external CD player, again with a power control button, and there are your transport controls that you see here. Now, I've kind of skipped over one little thing that I want to go back to now, and that is these 2 buttons here on the app for the ND8006 CD control. There's a little plus and minus speaker volume. When we set the output for volume variable or fixed, when we set it to fixed, that established 2 toggle buttons, little toggle buttons up and down, which enable you to turn the volume of the motorized volume control on the PM8006 up and down. Very, very effective little control this. So when this screen is visible, you actually can turn the amplifier up and down as well with the screen selected. Right, well, that's the theory part of this little demonstration done. I'd like to now actually show a video of this all working for you on the system. Okay, here's the system with the HEOS app. Music player is selected, music, there's my 4 tiles. I can go back here and just turn the power on. This will turn on the ND8006 and the amplifier. CD's already loaded, it might start playing. I go to music, go to Marantz CD, that's for the SA8006 at the top. I turn that on. It's reading as well. Back here, Marantz CD player. Whoops. There we go. I need to change the input on the amplifier to network. And that's the CD in the ND8006. And that's the CD input on the Marantz amplifier. And that's an SA CD that's in there as well. So when I've had enough of all that, I can just turn that off, go back here, turn off the main system. And it turns the amplifier off as well. Right, that's how you use the HEOS app to control Marantz amps and CDs that otherwise don't have HEOS. 2 final points to make. One, having 2 CD players in a system like that would be unusual, but the functionality is still there. If you have the NA6006 network audio player, it will control Marantz CD players and amplifiers just the same. And 2, the volume controls for the amplifier aren't just visible when the CD controls are on screen, of course. It's when any music you're playing within the HEOS ecosystem is on that screen, the volume controls will be there. So I just wanted to point that out because I don't think that was very clear in what I said. Okay, so that's that. Thanks for watching.